Hey everybody! I'm here today to tell you and show you the seating position for reversing a car. This will be an easy driving lesson, so let's get right into the video. As you can see right here, I'm in a parking lot. And when you're practicing reversing as a beginner driver or as a learner driver about to take your driving test, this is probably one of the best places to practice in an empty parking lot. So there are essentially a few different situations that you can be in when you are reversing. You can be reversing straight back, you can be reversing to your left, or you can be reversing to your right, okay? Now, in all of these situations, the one thing that's constant is that you want to keep your torso relatively straight facing forward, okay? Now, that means you got to be flexible as much as possible. Does it mean you have to be an acrobat and you got to be able to twist your back in all different directions? No. It just means that if your torso is relatively straight, not perfectly straight, relatively straight, you should be able to turn around and see out your right side behind you, and then out your left side behind you as well. And if you really need to, you should be able to take your arm, bring it back to look out your rear view, your rear windshield over there, okay? And you can use your mirrors as well. You're gonna need to do all of those. So your torso has to be straight. Now, you're gonna wanna keep two hands on the steering wheel as much as possible. If you're doing the driving test, you need to keep two hands on the steering wheel as much as you possibly can. Okay, at least in most of the places that I've saw the driving test being done and that I've studied and stuff like that, okay? But look at your local regulations, obviously. In a real life situation, when you have your license and you're reversing, is it critical that you reverse like this? Or is it okay if you go with one hand? Most of the time, as long as you have control over the wheel, it's okay for you to alternate. I'm gonna be honest with you, about half the time when I reverse, I have two hands, and then the other half the time I have one hand. Most of the time, this is how I do it, not on the driving test, in a real life driving situation. When I'm reversing, and I'm going in a straight line backwards, I usually have two hands on the wheel, okay, and I end up using my mirrors. I look like that. I can see out my rear windshield, the windows on my right and the windows on my left. And I continue alternating, okay? But when I'm steering right and left, I kind of twist my body like this, and I use my left hand if I'm looking out my right side, and then I use my right hand if I'm looking on my left side, and then I'll go back to both hands. So I kind of alternate. So, essentially, the seating position is as follows, to sum up this driving lesson. Your torso needs to be facing forward, relatively straight forward, okay? For the most part. You want to have two hands on the wheel as much as you possibly can, okay? And if you need to turn your body more than how much you can access like this, then you get your one hand, you put it on the wheel in the center, roughly in the center. You take your other hand and you use your passenger seat. So I have my hand on the headrest of the passenger seat to give myself a little bit of extra turn to be able to look where I need to look, okay? And then if I'm looking to the left, I can usually do it with both hands on the wheel like this, okay? So when it comes to your seating position, your torso, your lower half of your body stays relatively straight because you're controlling the pedals. You have to remember that. Your upper half of your body is gonna have to turn using your mirrors, using the windows, looking everywhere for your safety checks. But your upper half of your body is gonna have to turn, okay? Ouch, that actually kind of hurt. I don't know if I caught a rough piece of the edge of that. I'm not bleeding, right? No, okay. Anyways, your upper half of your body is gonna have to turn. So you're gonna need to be somewhat flexible, okay? As much as possible. Like I said, you don't need to be able to twist your body in all directions, but you do need to be somewhat flexible in order to sort of look around like this. So I'm just kind of demonstrating what I would do in a regular situation. Just like that. That's how I would be reversing. That's it. That is a driving lesson on seating position for reversing a car. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.